Hello everyone. Is using Nvidia game filters in an online competitive FPS cheating? This is a question that I've often asked myself since I started using them in Hell Let Loose, and this is the game I'll be focusing on today. Hell Let Loose describes itself as a hardcore World War II first-person shooter with epic battles of 100 players with infantry, tanks, artillery, a dynamically shifting front line, and a unique resource-based RTS-inspired metagame. The game for me is gritty, dark and punishing, and if you play this game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, you are certainly going to get punished. I have played Hell Let Loose for over 700 hours, and in my time, I have experienced the best and the worst that the game has to offer. I think we all remember that trailer. But since I've been playing at a competitive level, I started to notice that something was off. I was getting shot from places where I couldn't see the enemy, and they shouldn't have been able to see me. At first I assumed that I just needed to get better at the game. Competitive matches are at a different level to public games. Teams are organised, players perform very specific roles, and teams use every advantage possible to win, within the rules of the game. And I assumed that I just needed to get better, learn from my experiences, and improve from these. Now, as a personal caveat before I go any further, I am colourblind, specifically protanopia, which is when an individual struggles to differentiate between, as examples, dark browns with dark greens, dark oranges and dark reds, dark blues and dark purples. I've always struggled with seeing other players in Hell Let Loose, and this is due to the dark nature of the game visuals and the uniforms. That is unless you forget to take your snow uniform off when playing Hill 400, but we've all done that before. This didn't deter me from playing the game, I just assumed that this was the Hell Let Loose experience for me. The clan that I played for merged with another clan to field a competitive team, and it was at this time that I learnt about Nvidia Filters. Having never used them before, I was really keen to understand how these would change my game. I was told that all the top clans were using them, and that to beat them, you had to join them. Once the filters were applied, my game went from this, that you are seeing now, to this. As you can already see, it's literally night and day. The game has changed from a gritty, grimy feel to, well, let's just say some of the friends in the clan have called it Fortnite. But these filters, they've changed the game for me. I can see players easier, I can track play movement better, and I can spot garrisons at a distance, but still have a skill issue. So back to the original question. Is using Nvidia game filters in an online competitive FPS cheating? After looking online, I've only been able to find anecdotal evidence of people being banned due to using these filters, specifically around the games CSGO and Rust. But there's no conclusive evidence that the bans discussed were directly related to applying filters to increase visibility, reduce shadows, or sharpen the game image. Although, what I did find is lots of examples from people posting on game forums asking devs to prevent players from using them in a number of games, with one post from 2019 being very detailed on how they are being used on night maps in Escape from Tarkov. I'll put a link in the description because I think it's worth a read, and it does add strong evidence towards the argument that this is cheating, at least in Tarkov. I've asked this same question before in the Hell Let Loose clans that I'm affiliated with, and the argument seems to fall between two very distinct lines, one being if you can't beat them, join them, and the other being it's cheating if you're modifying the game beyond what the developers originally intended. There's also the question of winning at all costs, with higher level clans encouraging their members to use these filters as standard for both competitive and public games, and then there's the ethical questions that arise from this as well. We also touched on using controllers in PC games to gain an advantage with aim assist, and CSGO pros changing their aspect ratio to see character models clearer and closer. But that's a whole new can of worms that I'm sure has been and will be opened over and over again. I also understand that developers can request for their game to be removed from the Nvidia support functionality, and I believe that this has already been done in Tarkov and Squad. But from my experience, using the filters has become the norm. I don't think this is going to change anytime soon. Not until Team 17 either choose to intervene by requesting Nvidia to stop supporting Hell Let Loose, or they start banning players who use them. Personally, for me, being colourblind, I can now see details and players in the game that would have been impossible had I not started using these Nvidia Filters. It has changed the game for me in a positive way, and there's part of me that feels that I am now on a level playing field in comparison to the people who are not colorblind. This isn't me trying to justify my actions, but more trying to explain how their use has improved my experience and my enjoyment of Hell Let Loose. So, what do you think? Do Nvidia filters provide an unfair advantage? Do you think it's cheating? If you have an AMD card, do you feel that you're at a disadvantage to those who use Nvidia? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you've enjoyed this, a like on the video, and maybe even a subscription. Thank you very much for your time, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.